guys, welcome back to another video. So I honestly don't even know how to start off because I really didn't know if I should even make this video. So I was kind of concerned of if I should or shouldn't make it, but it really isn't anything bad, but I do want to just bring awareness. Also, sorry because of the background noise. I will be trying to talk kind of loud enough so you guys can hear me good. Also, sorry if I am moving too much. I have a chair, the ones that you turn around, so I'm like moving around, playing around with it. But I do want to start off, I literally don't know where to start. So I am going to be giving you guys dates, and they might not be exact because I don't really remember the exact dates, so that's why. Okay, so I am filming this video on August the 7th. So basically I started getting sick like around July, like literally in the beginning of July, and it was really weird. Like, I've had problems where like I suck at eating and I don't really know why. So like around that time I wanted to gain weight because like the gyms were opened. You know, I was taking precautions about everything going on with the COVID and everything. You know, like before and after using machines, I would clean them and stuff like that. We had to start wearing masks as well. Since I did start going to the gym again, which I hadn't gone for a while, and I did lose a lot of weight, I decided that I was gonna start gaining weight. And I've always been this person where like I've been skinny, not too skinny but skinny, and every time I try to eat, like I get full right away. But obviously as I start increasing my calories, I start being able to eat more throughout like the days. And I started eating, and I noticed that every time I would eat I would feel nauseous, and I didn't know if it was like the new protein that I was drinking because I did buy a new protein. So I didn't know if it was that, but like my mind was like, oh, I think it is that, you know. But again, I did not know anything. So then it did start getting worse. I started feeling way more nauseous like all the time, every day, every time I tried to eat. So like I wasn't even eating that much anymore because of the fact that every time I would try to eat, like I would just feel like throwing up, but I didn't want to throw up. So I would just like hold it in for like the whole day, and then I would wake up the next day and I would still feel nauseous. So I was like, seriously, like what's happening to me, you know? And I remember posting a snap on my private Snapchat where I just have like family or like really close friends. So it was like just a couple, and I was posting how like I was feeling sick, and then I even started to throw up. So like I was already throwing up, and again I didn't know, and I had no idea what was happening to me. And one of my coworkers, she mentioned it to my manager, my somewhat manager. She mentioned it to her, but just like joking around. She mentioned how I was feeling sick, and you know, they wanted to take precautions, so I stopped working for like a couple days just to make sure that it wasn't COVID. And we just thought it was like a stomach bug, and we were like, okay, it's like whatever, you know. So that was around like, or I think I honestly started feeling sick like on June, not July, like, but in the end of June. It was like in the end of June, and then that's when like July, like I actually started to like feel super nauseous and like starting to like throw up. So after the week that I had like the few days off, I suddenly just like started feeling super good, and I thought it was just like a stomach bug. So I was like, oh, like it was just a stomach bug, because like the next week I completely felt fine. I was able to eat, and I think it was like, I want to say like July 8th, July 9th, one of my family members started to get sick. So we were like, uh-oh, like what's happening, you know? So that person was getting isolated, and I don't want to say names just because I know they're gonna get mad at me if I say like who exactly started and stuff like that. But that's why also like I didn't know if I should make this video. But yeah, that person started to get sick, and we were like, what's going on? Like we all felt fine. I still felt kind of nauseous like here and there, but like it wasn't that bad. And I as well mentioned it to my doctor because I was supposed to get like kind of like a surgery done like on my armpit because I have like a cyst or something like that on my armpit. And I mentioned to her how I was like, if I was feeling nauseous, and she was like, do you have a fever, or do you have a cough, and like other symptoms? And I was like, no, like I don't. It's just like literally like all it is just like I feel nauseous like all the time. And like she was like, are you pregnant? And I was like, I'm not. So she thought that, well, she asked me, she was like, have you been waking up late and then like eating late? And I was like, yes. And she was like, then it can probably be gastritis. So I was like, okay, yeah, like I think it is. Like we all thought that it was maybe that, because I would also get heartburns here and there, but it wasn't that bad. And that was like a week before my family member, the first one that started to get sick. And then so that person went to go get tested on a Friday, which I believe was like I don't know, I want to say like the 7th or the 8th, I'm not sure, but they wanted to go get tested. I just remember it was a Friday, and the results were supposed to come I think 2 to 3 days, but they did not come. And then it was a Saturday when I started feeling sick, so I actually started getting like a dry cough, but like I didn't think it was anything. But then my family member, the first one that first got sick, was still sick. They were still isolating, and my other family member, after they picked me up from work, they told me, they were like, oh, like I'm feeling sick. And I was like, and the other person is still really sick, so we're like, oh. And I was like, because I'm feeling sick too, you know, I have a cough. And that person was like, yeah, me too. Again, they were all family members, which we live in the same household, so we were like, this is not good. So we were thinking of, well, we didn't actually think of nothing like of going to get tested, because we were like, maybe it's not that, we'll just wait for my other family member to go get tested, and then we'll see the results. And then if, you know, they test negative or positive, I mean, then, you know, we'll go ahead. But then the next day, which was a Sunday, I woke up with a fever, and I think that was like I want to say like the 11th, I believe, I'm not sure. I got a fever. I woke up coughing. The day before I woke up with a fever, I had a lot of cough like in the night, which in the morning I just woke up with like a dry cough, like a little bit, but it wasn't that bad. So then I got in contact with my work as soon as I woke up with a fever. And the good thing is that that day I was not working, so I either ways mentioned it to them, and I was like, you know what, like I woke up with a fever and I'm gonna have to go get tested, you know, just to make sure that I don't spread it in case I do have COVID. So I stopped working, and then I went to go get tested. I think it was the same day, or the same day, Saturday. I went to go get tested like at 1 p.m. And, you know, I told them like all my symptoms, and as well, I kind of knew that I did have it because I got like a couple weird symptoms. So I got a headache, and then that day that I got a headache, I started to throw up, and then the next day was when I think I woke up with a cough. So, you know, again, they asked me for all my symptoms, and I told them everything. I got a headache, and then I started to throw up. I lost appetite. I couldn't even eat because I felt nauseous. I had a cough the day before I went, and then obviously that day in the morning I woke up with fever. So the doctor told me, you know what, like it honestly does sound like you do have it, but it can come out negative. So either way, it's just make sure that you're isolated. And they asked me if like any of my other family members were sick, and I said I came with another family member that was at the hospital at the time that I was, because we both went to go get tested at the same time. And again, I was the only one who was supposed to go get tested, but then that person decided to go get tested. And I was like, and my other family member is at home with like a high fever, and they've been like that for like a couple days. So basically after they tested me, they just told me to stay isolated, to not go outside until I got my results, because it was, you know, like all the symptoms that I told them, like they could come positive. So then remember, Sunday was when I got tested. Wednesday, I think, was when we got the results. And they called not the first family member that was sick first or had the symptoms first. That person still did not have the results. They called the family member that I went with to go get tested, and they said that that person did test positive, and they asked if anybody else was living in the household, and they said yes, and we all got tested. So then they searched us up, and they basically told us we were all positive. So then they told us, well, a lot of you know, 2 weeks quarantine. So that pretty much sucked. And yeah, that's basically what happened. Again, I have no idea, or we had no idea who got it. I mean, nobody worked other than me and the person that I went with to go get tested at the same time. But yeah, that was basically it. And again, like I wouldn't really go out. It was just work home all the time. Yeah, I would go to the store here and there, but like I wouldn't really go that much. And if I just went to the store, if we like ever went to the store, we would just go and get like what we needed to get and then back home. So like, you know, it was just really hard to think that we had it, knowing that we really wouldn't go out. So I was like, okay, like I'm pretty sure that I got it from work, because nobody else worked other than the person that I went with again. That person just worked with like 3 people, the same people, I think, or 4 people. I think it was 4 people, and they all got tested, and they all tested negative. So I was like, okay, then it can't be them. Again, it was before that person got sick. So I was pretty sure that I had gotten it from work. So then the 2 weeks, or it was like a week and a half that passed by after quarantine, and let me tell you guys, it sucks so much. Obviously it really depends the age and just stuff like that, so it really hit us all different. I feel like it hit me the least worst, but I would say it's still pretty bad, just because I just got a fever for 2 days and I did not get chills. I did get a couple headaches. I completely lost taste. Like for the full 2 weeks I couldn't taste food at all. I would even like the spicy stuff, I literally had some ghost pepper chips that were super spicy, and like when I would eat them I couldn't even taste the spice because that's how bad I lost the taste. And I would sneeze, I had sneezing, I had a running nose. But then my other family members got it pretty bad. They got headaches, they got fevers, like really high fevers for like a lot of days. They got chills and just a lot of stuff like that. I feel like what was the worst for me was the fact that I lost taste again, like I mentioned, and I literally had no energy for nothing. Like I had no energy, I couldn't even like get up of bed. I mean, it was pretty bad, but I wouldn't say it was bad compared to like my other family members. But yeah, that's basically what hit me the most, the fact that like I just had no energy and I felt like I was like dying. Like again, I had no energy to even get up from bed. Like all day I was just in bed, plus either ways like we were all isolated in like at our own rooms, so that sucked. And then the 3rd week passed by, and we also had coughs, which is weird. I still have coughs, so I'm just still isolated at home. And it's gonna be the 4th week. We all feel fine now, but me and a family member, we both have coughs, so it's pretty weird because again it's gonna be the 4th week. But other than that, like we feel pretty normal. You know, I feel normal again. I don't feel sick at all anymore. I have my taste back. I don't feel nauseous anymore. I can eat a lot now. And again, like I mentioned, all I have is just a cough, so I'm just waiting on that to go away. Anyways, before I forget to tell you guys, so I kind of found out how I got it. I don't want to say I did get it that way, but I feel like that is the only way I got it, because so I had completely stopped going to the gym. I wasn't, because I used to go to the gym, like I mentioned. I completely stopped going to the gym just because I saw how like things were getting much worse. And by the way, the time that I started going to the gym again, because I had already stopped going to the gym, but I started going to the gym again when apparently things were like, or like everything with COVID was like, you know, like calming down. Like you wouldn't even hear it that much anymore. So that's when like I kind of started going out more. And like yeah, I would go out, but I would usually go out just like to the beach, like just like usually like with my cousin. So like, you know, I would never like go like in groups of people. It was just like me and like one person, like 2 or 3 max, and it was like the same people, and like we really wouldn't go out, you know. So but however, I did go to the gym once, which was like 2 weeks before I tested positive. And so I went early to the gym that week, which is like again 2 weeks before I tested positive, or I started feeling really sick. And I went to the gym with that person. They took me, and I was really tired, so they gave me some of their energy drink, and basically we shared drinks, which don't do that at all, because that's how I got it, I'm pretty sure. Because the day after, the person messaged me and they told me that they were feeling sick, that they were having a fever and I think a cough, I'm not sure. But yeah, basically they told me that they were sick and they couldn't work and they had to go get tested. So like every day I was kind of like bugging them, telling them like, can you tell me like if you tested negative or positive as soon as you get the results, because I need to know. So they told me that they were supposed to get the results, I'm not sure, it was like 3 days. I want to say like, they told me like 3 days. So like the 3rd or 4th day, I asked them again, have you gotten your results? And they told me yes, but they tested negative. So I was like, okay, then, you know, like then I'm good, just because I just wanted to make sure, because of the fact that again I shared drinks with that person. So I was like, if they test positive, then obviously they passed it on to me. So then after they told me that they tested negative, I was like, okay, then I'm fine, like there's nothing to worry about. And then all of a sudden I started feeling really sick, and that's when like all that I told you guys, that I mentioned earlier, all like the nausea and like vomiting and like headaches started to happen. So I was like, what's happening, you know? And then after that, that's when my family member got sick, so I knew something was wrong. So then you know, all that happened, and then that's when I got the test results, and then I tested positive. And still today I haven't really told anybody. just because it's not really something to be proud of, obviously. Again, it's nothing bad, but I did want to bring awareness because it's not a joke. But yeah, so like a week and a half after I had already tested positive, I knew I was sick. I mentioned it to the person that I had gone to the gym with. I was like, you know what, like, don't tell anyone, but I tested positive. So then they told me, they were like, oh, can you not tell anyone either? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, I tested positive too. So I was like, seriously? Like, I asked you and you lied to me. Again, no shade to this person, like, they're my friends, but I was disappointed. And if you see this video, fuck you, bitch, for passing it on to me. But yeah, so they said that they told me they had tested negative because they were already not sick. They apparently they just lasted like 3 days sick, so it was like whatever, you know. So they thought that it was just like a flu, because usually I guess like when you get COVID, it like lasts for weeks. So they just thought that it was a flu since it was just like a 3-day like sickness. So that's what they told me, and also because they hadn't gotten the results. But then after they got the results, they saw that they tested positive. So I was just disappointed because of the fact that, you know, like, I was posting all the time in my private that I was feeling sick and that, you know, I felt nauseous and like I had all these symptoms, and obviously they were watching my stories. So I feel like if they knew that they had shared drinks with me, and not just that, but they saw that I felt like shit and I still hadn't even gone to get tested, and they knew that they had already tested positive, I feel like they should have told me. Because if they would have told me that they had tested positive, I could have gone to get tested, and then I wouldn't have spread it to my whole family. So that's why I was disappointed. But again, no shade to that person, they're still my friend. I just feel like you should do better next time. And again, I'm not sure if I did get it from that person, but I'm super sure I did get it from that person, just because of the fact that as soon as like I hung out with them, like for the next week, I started, like next 2 weeks actually, I started feeling really sick. I just want to say, make sure that you do wear a mask, and you know, if it's necessary, wear gloves going out. Don't go to parties. And like, if you go out, like if you go to the beach, make sure you don't go with like a lot of people. Just go like, you know, like with 1 or 2. But you know, try to stay isolated, because it really is a big deal and it's not a joke. Like mentioned, it really does suck. And not just because of that, but maybe it won't hit you as bad, but it hits like other people that you love really bad. I had family members pass away because of that. So again, it's not a joke. Make sure that you are always clean, wash your hands all the time, wear masks all the time, and just try to not go out that much. You know, you don't really need to go out. Obviously, if you need to go buy food or stuff like that, then go ahead and go buy food, but try to not go out if it's not necessary. And yeah, that's basically it for this video. It wasn't really like an entertainment video, obviously. I just wanted to let you guys know what has been going down through the past weeks of my life, because this is my YouTube channel, and I do want to make sure that I am honest to you guys. And obviously I know that I don't have a big platform, but I do have 700 subscribers, and I'm so happy for having all of you guys. And I know not all of you watch my videos, but I am so thankful. I really did never think that I could get 700 subscribers. Like, my goal was basically to get to like 100, and then I slowly started gaining, and then right now I'm at 700, so that's super crazy. I don't know, like, I've been thinking of like when I hit 1,000 subscribers, like I'm gonna be so happy for having like all of you guys to subscribe to my channel, which is pretty fucking lame, but again, I have all of you guys, so thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you guys stay safe out there, because it's not easy right now. And yeah.